Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told out of PTCG Radio, so today we're going to be looking at a very unusual deck. A deck we did not see coming, but a deck that did very well at the North American International Championships this past weekend, the largest Pokemon tournament ever. And it's all based around Shining Lugia. Now, shout out to Nick Capabianco, I hope that's vaguely right, who got top 32 with this particular beast. And I should say that my deck list and all, as always, come from the lovely folks over at LimitlessTCG.com. And they uploaded the top 64, and I'm sitting down here and I'm looking through the list, trying to figure out if there's any unusual decks that we need to talk about. And ladies and gentlemen, this one stuck out like the proverbial sore thumb. So, Shining Lugia. We should probably remind ourselves what it actually does. So the good news is it's got 130 HP, and in a tournament where Zoroark was absolutely everywhere, very nice that it can take a hit from Zoroark. Weakness to Lightning's really good because, again, if you look down the top 64, there is not one lightning-focused deck in the entire top 64 of this tournament. That's not to say none of them didn't play the old Tapu Koko promo, but I am saying there was not a single lightning-focused deck. And you've got a resistance to fighting, which means Buzzwole will do less damage to you. And even before we get to the attacks, the weakness, resistance, and HP here, in the particular metagame in which we currently reside, looking pretty good. Now, the first attack, free colorless energy, 60 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon has an ability, it does 120 damage. And honestly, this is good for some things. So against a Zoroark, yeah, this is brilliant. That has an ability. If you want to hit a Tapu Lele, yeah, brilliant. They've got an ability. But if you're against something like a Buzzwole, for instance, well, there's no ability there. That's not getting hit. If you're against a Garbodor, you're not hitting them for 120 because they don't have an ability. So you're actually only hitting them for 60. Golisopod, not getting hit for a whole bunch of damage here. So this does actually not seem like the best attack in the world right now because there's too many Pokemon you're not hitting for weakness. And then 4 colorless energy, 130, and you discard 1 energy from this Pokemon. Generally speaking, that's pretty gosh darn expensive, but that's alright, because we're pairing it with Malamar. Malamar's seen a lot of play since it was released, and essentially it lets you attach a psychic energy from your discard to one of your bench Pokemon once per turn per Malamar, making the attack cost of 3 or 4, especially when you remember we're playing a lot of double colorless energy here, really quite manageable. Double colorless energy, 1 or 2 Malamar, and you are absolutely rolling here, making that 130 attack absolutely relevant. Problem is, even with a choice band, you're only hitting 160 here, so something like a Tapu Lele's not getting KO'd, and you're not actually hitting anything for weakness, because you're a colorless Pokemon. So if you're not hitting anything for weakness, and you're not really doing enough damage to one-hit KO most of the main threats in the format, but this is your most played attacker, what's going on? And we have a couple of answers here. Answer number 1, you don't need to one-hit KO. You can 2-hit KO because you are a non-GX Pokemon, you only give up a single prize, and you've got enough HP that against stuff like Buzzwole and Zoroark, which were everywhere, you're not getting one-hit KO'd, so you can afford to 2-hit KO. The other answer here is, we got stuff like Marshadow GX. Marshadow GX, I kept mentioning it in a bunch of videos and then saying that actually no, it's not seen any play for ages. Marshadow's come back a bit lately. We've been seeing it see play. The ability says this Pokemon can use the attacks of any basic Pokemon in your discard pile. Oh look. Now what we do is we use Marshadow to copy Shining Lugia, and then we're doing 120 for free energy, but we're getting a one-hit KO on Zoroark. Now to be fair, Zoroark with a choice band will actually get a one-hit KO back, because they're hitting 150, but they're a stage 1, and you're a basic, so it's slightly more awkward for them to get rolling. Plus, they lose their draw engine with trade, you just lose an attacker. So actually here, this is not looking too bad at all. You can either 2-hit KO with Lugia, which is an absolutely viable strategy, or you can use Marshadow to copy Shining Lugia and get 1-hit KOs on Zoroark. One of the best Pokemon around at the moment, one of the most played. What's the other one? Buzzwole, but you're playing a Malamar deck. So we're playing Mewtwo GX here. Mewtwo GX is a great Buzzwole counter. 1 Psychic Energy minimum, 30 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon, but it's energy, not psychic energy. So if you've got 4 energy on there, let's say 2 psychic and a double colorless, then you're hitting for 120, 240 with weakness. Annoyingly, Buzzwole has 190, so you can't get the KO with 3 energy. You do need the 4th energy on there, but you can't win them all, ladies and gentlemen. Or you can just Psy Strike 200 damage, not affected by any effects on your opponent's Pokemon. So something like a Dawnwing's Necrozma, for instance, which might try and use their GX attack to get immunity for a turn, you can counter them. I did a video about Mewtwo the other day, I'll pop a link in the description, telling you how it's actually a really viable Pokemon at the moment that is starting to see a lot more play. This is just one more deck that can really take advantage of it. And that's the general deck here. We do have one other Pokemon that's played as a one-of, and it's Mimikyu with the Copycat attack. If your opponent's Pokemon used an attack that isn't a GX attack during their last turn, use it as this attack. So if a Buzzwole comes along and uses a Knuckle Impact, for instance, you can copy Knuckle Impact and you'll actually be hitting for weakness, so you don't even need a Choice Band to get a 1-hit KO here. And this actually deals with a whole bunch of fringe Pokemon as well. Tapu Bulu using Nature's Judgment, you can get a 1-hit KO. Duskmane Necrozma using the attack that does 220, you'll get a KO even when you factor in their resistance. This is a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. There are an awful lot of things you can get with Mimikyu. It's played as a one-off because the biggest, bestest Pokemon in the format aren't really taking advantage of this, although you can use this against Buzzwole very nicely, but then again you got Mewtwo against Buzzwole, so you arguably don't need it that much. But the point is, it's there for options. Now we also do see obviously a Tapu Lele here, and by a Tapu Lele I mean 3 of them, because that's how you get set up here, and that really is the deck. In terms of energy, we play double colorless energy and Psychic. Psychic for Malamar, double colorless energy because, well, Lugia can use it. And then in terms of the trainers here, honestly, it's pretty much as we would expect. No huge surprises here. For Professor Sycamore, 3N, 2 Cynthia in terms of your draw engine. We're going slightly aggressively with a Professor Sycamore, but that's okay, because you need to discard Psychic Energy in order to use Malamar, and you need to discard Shining Lugia in order to copy it with Marshadow. 4 copies of Guzma, because this is a deck with stuff like Marshadow hitting weakness and Mewtwo hitting weakness and Mimikyu and all of that. It is a deck that can really take advantage of particular Pokemon, so you need a heavy Guzma line to do just that. 1 Bridget, so we can Tapu Lele on turn 1 and get all of our basics. 4 Mysterious Treasure, 3 Ultra Ball. Now, on the one hand, Mysterious Treasure doesn't get you all of your Pokemon. It doesn't get you Marshadow or Lugia. On the other hand, turn 1 and 2, you really want Inkay, Malamar, and Tapu Lele. And Mysterious Treasure will allow you to search for those Pokemon. So we're totally okay with this. Yeah, you can't search out everything, but you can search out the ones that you really need. And then we still got 3 Ultra Ball as well. Then you add in 2 Field Blower, because Garbodor is a potential issue here with your Malamar and with your Marshadow, so abilities are something you really want to rely on here. You need a few Field Blower, 1 Rescue Stretcher to recover Pokemon, 1 Professor's Letter to search out energy, really good when you combo it with Mysterious Treasure, Ultra Ball or Sycamore to then discard them, 3 Float Stones so you can switch around your active Pokemon, and 3 Fighting Fury Belt. This is the one slightly odd thing about this list. No Choice Band. But you don't really need Choice Band. Marshadow's getting an easy 1-hit KO on Zoroark. Mewtwo's getting a really easy 1-hit KO on Buzzwole. All of those Mimikyu calculations I was giving you a minute ago were without a Choice Band. You don't really need Choice Band here. You're either 2-hit KOing, in which case Choice Band won't make a difference, or you're one-hit KOing with enough leeway that Choice Band doesn't make a difference. Fighting Fury Bout here isn't really played for the extra 10 damage, it's played for the extra 40 HP. Now Lugia's got 170 HP and can take a hit from most things. Quite frankly, it makes an awful lot of sense. But like I say, in terms of trainer line, that really is about the only unusual thing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the Shining Lugia Malamar deck, which made top 32 at the largest Pokemon tournament in the history of the world ever. It is frankly ridiculous that this deck did so well. I didn't see it coming, and I'm willing to bet that most of you didn't see it coming as well, but that's okay. Surprises are nice. But now, I want you to tell me if you think this deck could be viable in the future, or whether this was a flash in the pan, so go nuts! But do remember to please be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Awasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.